So this is a demo of the new Nail Innovations Synthesiz Polygel. And did somebody get married? They're blowing their horn like crazy.
Train.
Oh, it's the train. Lovely. Okay, so I'm going to scoop off a bit with our brand new Sculpted spatula, or Speed Shine spatula brush. And we just wipe that off on the end. Clean my spatula there. And it's pretty hard. Like, you can see how it's kind of peaking. But as soon as I wet my brush with the cleanser, don't want it too wet, but just kind of dab the excess on a wipe. And then as soon as I dab that, then it just softens and it starts to feel more like the fast white. And then I can move that around. So near the back, I want to, once I'm done kind of moving it around and getting my general shape in place, keep a nice flat brush with nice light touches. And then I'll re-wet my brush, kind of blot the excess. You just want to see cleanser flooding, because if you see cleanser flooding, then that's going to run into the ditch, and then we'll have separation because we don't want anything touching. But once I've kind of got the main part, then I'll just kind of crash my plane with my brush and just poke at it. So I'm almost creating a bit of that ombre look, just fading it out just by tapping lightly on it with a landing angle brush angle. And then I can draw on it, so you can sort of see a bit of a, can you see that in the camera, Daff? Is it picking up that ombre at all?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we can work on the shape a little bit. So you can see how much control this stuff gives you. You can really shape it, just like working with acrylic. But the positive side, the one thing that I always hated about acrylic is that it was time sensitive, so you only had so many minutes to work with it because it was drying with it as you're working with it. And what I've always preferred about gel is that until I cured it, I could keep working with it. So with this stuff, we can just keep working with it until we're happy with it, as long as we haven't cured it. Uh-oh, I must have had this must be my glitter brush. I got a little glitter in there. Anyway. Okay, so we've got our first little ombre, and Naomi, you can pop that in the light, and we'll give that a 20-second flash freeze. We can. All right, so now we're going to use our Synthesiz Bubble Pink, and I always take too much. It doesn't take as much as it looks. It's deceiving, unless you're doing like a big long stiletto, and then it's like you're gonna need a lot. So we'll just wipe that off.
Nice little number.
Yeah. I know my husband.
And wet my brush, dab it.
What is our anniversary's next month? He's like,
And then I'll soften. You kind of, oh, there's a glitter. Let's get rid of that. Re-wet that, dab it. All right, so, oops, too wet. As soon as I see that cleanser flooding, then I'm gonna dry my brush because I don't want flooding. And then kind of move that around. You can roll your brush if you need it to kind of go off to the side.
I had no idea why I can't was here.
And I'll wet my brush again just a little bit. And now I'm going to do that crashing the plane again, just right at the cuticle area to detail, so that I'm blending it and fading it out to nothing in the cuticle area. A little too much juice in this side there, so just use the brush to soak up that cleanser, and then using a nice long light stroke, I'll draw that forwards and pull it over the white. And then it just blends over top of the white. So that's all we have to do. Freeze it and shape it, and our sculpted ombre is done. So if you want to do a an ombre just at the very end, then I would use the Shiny Shades Sheer Blush and Sheer Veil. If you want a sculpted ombre, the advantage of the Shiny Shades, you don't have to do a full removal and you're not sculpting the entire nail. With the Synthesiz, it's a sculpted ombre, so if you're not on a new set, then you would do a full set removal. Apply your bonders, your clear foundation, nude extension, then apply your Synthesiz and shape. Let's pop that in the light, cure it for 2 minutes, and then we just shape it like regular gel. So these are Nail Innovations peel and stick files. Nice and sanitary. You can get a new one for every client. And so I've got cleanser on my wipe, and we're just going to wipe because it will have that dispersion layer. So if I wanted to at this point to shape it a little bit different on the surface, my apex, I could take Infatuation or any one of the builder gels and add an apex in there. Got a little bit of overhang from the nude extension where we extended that nail. Just get a rough shape around the perimeter here. And then I'm using our Nail Nerds e-file, little NI E150. So this is how it's going to file. So let's just open up our vent. You won't even see the dust because it just files like gel. So it's not peeling off like acrylic does. It's a nice soft file. You can see the dust, I guess, a little bit on the back of my hand. It has a very gel-like feel to the dust, a little bit finer maybe, and files super nice for shaping. I'm just going to take my Sheer Brilliance over top and edge it all around the edges. And then brush it through the middle, wrap it around that front of that free edge, and then do my blending layer. Let it settle. Alright, we can go back in the light. We'll do a 2-minute cure on that. So we'll wipe the sticky off of there. May have touched our finger over here. I guess you'll have something to pick at later, even though you're not a picker. And there's our sculpted ombre. Check out NI Synthesiz, and thanks for staying with us for the video. Catch you later.